7 books Elon Musk highly recommends. Number 1. 0 to 1. Notes on Startups, or How to Build the Future by Peter Thiel. Peter Thiel, co-founder of PayPal and Palantir, has written a book that is a must-read for anyone who wants to understand the future. He believes that progress can happen in one of 2 ways, from 0 to 1 or from 1 to 10. The first type of progress represents something new, something that didn't exist before. The second type of progress represents incremental improvements on what already exists. It's easy to mistake the second type for the first, but it's not how true innovation works. Innovation comes from going from 0 to 1, not just incrementally improving what already exists. 0 to 1 is a book about startups. It's about what it takes to build a successful company and how innovation works. The book starts off with an introduction of the author, Peter Thiel. He talks about how Silicon Valley is in a bubble and how it's difficult for people from outside the valley to start their own company because they don't have access to capital or connections. In Chapter 2, he talks about one of his first investments, PayPal. He talks about how he was able to get funding for PayPal by convincing people that they were going to be part of the next big thing, instead of just another credit card company. He also talks about some of his other investments like Facebook and SpaceX in Chapter 3. He discusses Facebook's founding story and how they grew into $1 billion company while keeping control over their privacy policy. As Thiel shares his thoughts on how to build a successful startup, he says that the first step is to ask what valuable company is nobody building. The second step is to find an overlooked problem and solve it in a unique way. The third step is to create something that would be both unique and valuable at the same time. And the fourth step is to make sure you are the only one who can provide this solution. This book provides some of the best startup advice for aspiring entrepreneurs and innovators. It not only discusses how to start a business, but also how one can grow it into a success story. Number 2. Superintelligence: Paths, Dangers, Strategies by Nick Bostrom. Superintelligence is a book by Nick Bostrom that was published in 2014. The book focuses on the possible implications of artificial intelligence. This book is an introduction to the field of AI and what it means for humanity. The author talks about the possibility of future developments in AI and how they will affect humans. The author also talks about potential dangers that may come with these developments and strategies to avoid them. Bostrom introduces the idea of superintelligence, which he defines as an intellect that is much smarter than the best human brains in practically every field, including scientific creativity, general wisdom, and social skills. It is the intelligence of a machine that exceeds that of any human. Bostrom investigates the dangers and possible paths to a world dominated by artificial intelligence. The main argument of this book is that if machine brains surpass human brains in general intelligence at some point in the future, an event called the singularity, then this would be likely to cause either a world war or a technological disaster from which human civilization might not recover. Bostrom discusses the implications and dangers of superintelligence. He talks about how it could be a great thing for humanity, or it could lead to our extinction. He also discusses how we should prepare for this event by investing in research and education, so we can take advantage of its benefits and avoid its risks.
You are watching Advance Dynamix, the success channel for those with a winner's mindset. Most just coast. We strive to thrive. Hello, winners. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing and turning on notifications. And if you get something out of this, please hit like and leave a comment. Today's sponsor is Bob Proctor and his world-renowned prosperity program, 6 Minutes to Success. The link is in the description. Without further ado, let's get back to today's video.
Number 3. Howard Hughes: His Life and Madness by Donald L. Bartlett and James B. Steele. Howard Hughes was a man of many talents. He was an aviator, film producer, and industrialist. He was also a businessman and an inventor. He was also a movie star, and he married Hollywood's most beautiful woman, Katharine Hepburn. Howard Hughes was one of the most famous and richest people in the world, but his life was one of extremes, from the highs of Hollywood to the lows of mental illness in a Nevada desert shack. From the glamour of Las Vegas to the utter desolation of Dracula's castle in Transylvania, from triumph to tragedy. The book starts with Howard's childhood and follows him through his early years as a movie producer, all the way up to his death in 1976. This biography tells all about this extraordinary man who became one of America's most legendary tycoons during the 20th century. Number 4. Benjamin Franklin. An American Life by Walter Isaacson. Benjamin Franklin was one of the most influential founding fathers of America. Walter Isaacson's biography of Benjamin Franklin is a masterpiece that has been hailed as a landmark in American letters by the Washington Post and a masterpiece by the New York Times. In the book, Isaacson offers a new assessment of Franklin's life and an intimate look at his character. He places Franklin in both his colonial context and the larger Atlantic world of his time, showing how Franklin's experiences abroad shaped his ideas about democracy, as well as how he shaped America's international engagement. Isaacson explores Franklin's life from his childhood in Boston to his death in Philadelphia. He also shares insights into Franklin's work as a writer, inventor, and diplomat. Walter Isaacson's book is an excellent way to learn about Benjamin Franklin's life and legacy. Number 5. The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams. The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams is a humorous science fiction series that follows the adventures of Arthur Dent as he travels through time and space. Dent is an Englishman who stumbles across the planet Earth seconds before it is destroyed to make way for a galactic freeway. He then sets off in search of the meaning of life, which he can't find anywhere. This book is a classic. It has been published in many languages and sold more than 15 million copies. It was originally written for radio broadcast, but was later adapted into novels, a stage play, comics, and TV series. In addition to its popularity among readers, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy has been critically acclaimed by many authors and critics. Douglas Adams wrote this book in 1979. It was his first novel, and it became an instant bestseller. Number 6. Merchants of Doubt. How a handful of scientists obscured the truth on issues from tobacco smoke to climate change by Naomi Oreskes and Eric M. Conway. Merchants of Doubt is a book about the use of science to sell products, and more importantly, to sell an ideology. The book's central thesis is that corporations and political interests have sought to create public uncertainty about scientific consensus on issues from tobacco smoke to climate change, to vaccines, GMOs, and many others by employing a few unscrupulous scientists who were willing to create doubt in order to make money further the political machine. These kinds of people are called merchants of doubt because they create doubt in people's minds. The book discusses how those scientists use their skills to obfuscate the truth on numerous serious issues. Atrocious lies all in the name of making a buck. The story smacks of greed and misuse of authority, criminality that will turn your stomach. The lesson is clear. Always pay attention to your surroundings. Gaslighting is everywhere. This type of thing is exactly the reason Elon bought Twitter. Elon bought Twitter to set the truth free. The richest man in the world bought the world's podium because he values humanity, not greed. Definitely not what the mainstream media would have you believe. The book dissects how some companies hire scientists to do this kind of work. Number 7. Einstein. His Life and Universe by Walter Isaacson. This is a biography of one of the most influential physicists of the 20th century, Albert Einstein. It tells about his life and achievements in science. The book was written by Walter Isaacson, who has also authored biographies of Benjamin Franklin, Henry Kissinger, and Steve Jobs. The author provides an in-depth view into the life of one of the most famous scientists in history. It covers his entire life from birth to death and everything that happened in between. Einstein's life story is a fascinating one, and Isaacson does an excellent job of detailing it without getting bogged down in too many details. He also includes many quotes from Einstein's correspondence that help to bring the man to life. The book is divided into 3 parts: Einstein's youth and education, his time at the patent office, and finally his rise as a scientific celebrity. It is an excellent deep dive into one of the most interesting men in history.
If you got something out of today's video, be sure to give it a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Click the Show More link on this video to check out our sponsor Bob Proctor and his world-renowned prosperity program, 6 Minutes to Success. You'll also find the link to get your Attitude Winners gear, including wall art, luggage covers, hoodies, and t-shirts at advancedynamix.com. Strive to thrive, winners.